All it takes is a moment. Is it fate that you came this far unbroken? If it's destiny, you wrote it. Focus, but you gotta be focused. Make or break, it's the last goodbye they remember you for. They're calling your name, go and take what's yours. Here, now, it's everything you've been dreaming about. There's a reason why you were chosen. This is your moment. Rise up, you give it all that you got and you rise up. All the stories that tell about the champion who came from the crown. Are you ready to carry it now? Going full speed, never stop, never quit. You're the only one you got to convince that nothing's too far out of your reach. 'Cause all you are is what you believe. Here, now, it's everything you've been dreaming about. There's a reason why you were chosen. This is your moment.
Welcome to Rokk Around the Clock, daily cloud gaming news live at the same time, Monday to Friday. But first, if you're new to the show, please subscribe and hit the bell. If you'd like to support the channel, why not hit the join button on the channel homepage and become a member of Team Rokk? Hey, whoa, Monday. It's all right. Do you know what the good news about it being Monday is? 5 whole days of Rokk Show stuff. How are you guys? Do you know what? I'm super excited to see you because, let's have a look at this. 9. Fantastic. I tell you why. Because in America, the clocks have sprung forward. Ha! They are enjoying longer days, brighter evenings. We've got a little ways to go. We've got a couple of weeks yet before that happens over this side of the pond. But I had a chat with Bjorn yesterday and I said, mate, should we like, change our time for the show? No, he said. GMT is the universal time standard. Now, if everybody wants to go earlier or later in spring, that's up to them. I thought, well, that's a fair point. Well made by the Swede. So we're not doing that. We're going to stick to our time. So we'll be a little bit later for you in the States. So apologies to Adam and others who have just come into the end of their lunch. Normally they like to sit down, have their little pastrami sandwiches. Lots of news today. Some of it breaking. Some of it so breaking that although I did know it was coming, I didn't have, and I can't find the information. So, Bjorn, you know that bit of news that you were hoping, you know what I'm talking about. Have you got a link for it, brother? Because it's out there, apparently, according to K-Sport, but I can't find an official post anywhere. So it must be on the basis. But the problem is It might be out there, but it might be one of those, please don't say anything about this until dates, you see, Caseball. Because Caseball is telling me now that he's seen it via a colleague. So it could have been one of those where it's not quite ready to go, but too late. Caseball's told the world. Not my fault. I'm just going to report what Caseball says. Caseball says, official announcement by Boosteroid and Microsoft. All Microsoft games to be onboarded by the 1st of June. This gives massive credibility to Boosteroid over to you, GFN. So yeah, I'd kind of heard in the wind last week that this was coming. This was going to be released this week as a piece of news. And essentially, it's the same deal that Microsoft and GeForce Now announced. What would it have been, last month? I think it was now. In as much as Microsoft are quite clearly looking to get their PC games out to as many platforms as possible, so they're going out to cloud. Of course, Boosteroid being Boosteroid, they don't need to do any kind of prep. They just have to make sure the game is installed on the various servers that they use so that you can access it. Whereas GeForce Now do actually add a wrapper around the game, which makes it more compatible with their system and adds a few extra layers and bits and pieces and stuff, like touch controls if they're not there and so on. So it takes them a lot longer in so many ways. There's a parallel here, isn't there, with what the problem, I mean, there isn't, but there is, if you see my point, with Stadia. So Stadia wanted to have all the games, wanted to have as many games as possible, but they have this ridiculous process of porting from Windows or wherever to Vulkan. And it just basically killed them in the end because they couldn't get enough games into the system and get enough studios interested in having their games ported. With GeForce, there's no end of people that want their games on GeForce. We know this. I've heard from many developers that have said, we ticked the box. We want to be on there. But there is a limited amount of resource over at GeForce in order to onboard those games. I don't know how many people they've got working on it. Could be in the hundreds, could be in the fives. I honestly don't know. But that's their problem. Now, Boosteroid have just gone, we're just going to operate like Shadow. Here you go. You are renting a PC which is optimized for playing Windows games, and it happens to have your library accessible via Steam, and there you go, fill your boots. It's a different model. I just feel that GeForce could end up going the way of Stadia if they don't find a quicker way of getting these games on board. Because people ultimately will go, yeah, I know it doesn't have touch controls, but it works really, really well on my PC. And 4K 120, it's down the road. If you remember, Vet said on this show a few weeks ago that he's right up there with the Boosteroid boys, that it was coming in April. So we're only weeks away, maybe May. So yeah, but it's great for consumers, guys. Let me just quickly say hello to everybody. Crow is in here. How are you, my friend? Good to see you, dude. Caseball, of course, they're giving us the noise. It will coincide with their 4K server release. 1st of June, there you go. So May, June time. There we are. 1st of June. Interesting one. Cowboy King of Content is no longer, and now your mama knows. Is that a complete brand change, my friend? Or is it imposter? Are you really the king of content? Or are you an imposter? I think it's him. And I'm loving to see the fact now that you've gone with the C spelling rather than the K. That's good, I like that. Curly, how are you, my friend? Good to see you, dude. Curly has now been a member for 3 months, although it only says 2 on that little cloud there. I did see that it popped up and said that he has renewed for 3 months. That is fantastic. Thank you, my brother Curly. Rockmuth from Sweden. How are you, my friend? I hope you're having a great... So I think I'm right in saying that Europe and the UK as one, we don't spring forward until the end of the month. Is that correct? Is it the same for us? Or does it change slightly in different territories? I know in the States they've done, over this weekend, they are now enjoying the longer days. Can't wait. It's going to be great. And there's my friend Bjorn. I just have an email from a colleague, says Caseball. Hi, Rock and Chat. How are you, Al? Good to see you, my friend. Al's great. Al sends me little messages, DMs of bits of news and stuff that he finds. And most of the time, it's not stuff that I've seen. So he's my roving reporter. Thank you, Al. Crow, we're enjoying waking up an hour earlier than we wanted to. Yeah, you do get that, don't you? It's 1 p.m. for Adam. Yeah, so you guys are now an hour ahead, as it were. We'll catch you up. We'll be there in a couple of weeks. Burger and fries for lunch today. Wow, nice, nice. Heidi ho, friends. Hey, Gizmo Duck, how are you, my friend? Thought that something as big as that would have been furnished through all the media. It's coming, but what I'm interested in knowing, Caseball, the email that you've seen, does it have an embargo date on it? Because that might well be why it's not being seen anywhere. And you may just have broken an embargo. All I've done is reported your message, mate. I'm free of it. And in any case, they never sent me the press release. So, ha, 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 ha. But it's definitely happening. I knew about it, as I say. I'd heard through rumours on the wind. So I think it's great. It's great for their profile. We'll have a little look in a minute on their blog and see if they've got anything going on. But you know, I mean, there's going to be an arms race, isn't there, out there? Because ultimately, it's going to be okay. We're now streaming. I don't think we're ever going to get any better than 4K. In one day, maybe 8K, but that's just so far into the future. And who the hell cares? Because honestly, sat 10 feet from my TV, you can serve me 1440p or 4K. They look the same. Unless I'm sat 2 feet from a monitor, they look the same. 8K, wasted. Let's stick with 4K as the max, right? 4K 120, brilliant. Brilliant. Don't need any better than that. I don't. Cash gamer me. So you've got the 4K your 120. They're all banging it out there. But, Boosteroid and GFN. I don't know whether Xbox is ever going to go down that road. I have a funny old feeling that they're not going to. I have a funny feeling they're going to stick to 1080. And they're going to allow the Boosteroids and the GeForce Nows to do the high fidelity stuff. That's my guess. As for PlayStation, who knows? They are a beast on their own and they do what they want and you can't predict anything with those fellas. How was the Chiefs match? Thanks, Curly. Actually, do you know what, mate? First half was dire. We were just rubbish. Came out, second half, Red Bulled up. And we had a great second half. And I think in the end, the score was... We got the bonus point. I think it was 20-something 5 in the end. Which is great. Wow, that was a noisy sneeze. I managed to hit the button just in time. But it was good. And it was just lovely going with my daughter. The tickets we had were behind the posts where none of the action happened through the entire game. It was all down the other end. The first half, it was the other team, Newcastle Falcons, and they got their points away from us. Second half, they switched over and the Chiefs got all their points away from us. So I was relying on the video screen a lot. But it was lovely. And thank you to Miss Phoenix as well for passing those on. And me and my young lass, we had a lovely old time. She was sat drinking cider. I was just sat. In fact, do you know what? It was interesting to watch the seagulls around this end of the field. It was pretty much all I could see. Lots of seagulls. Interesting to see them there. Caseball Rouster. All MS and Blizzard games as soon as possible. They already have COD on there. So, yeah, look, with Boosteroid, I'm sure it's not quite as simple as this. But essentially, they have to create their master copy, and then they run them around their servers, and they connect up your Steam account, and your Steam account says, yep, they've got all, or Epic account, by the way, it doesn't have to be Steam alone, or GOG, in fact, amongst others. And they say, yep, no, they can play that one, they've got that one, and then you just get the ability to play as if it was your own installation, and that's the clever thing that they do, that's their model. And it works, you can't knock them for it, can you? Really? And quite honestly, I know they put out there recently that they've got these immense amount of numbers of users. I mean, I think it was something like 12 million. I don't know whether that's the case or not. I'd love to think it was, because quite honestly, I want them to succeed. I genuinely do. I want the Booster Ride boys and the Black Nut boys and girls, I want all of these guys to succeed. I'm no fanboy of... Yes, I'm a GeForce Now ambassador, but quite honestly, that doesn't give them any say over my opinion towards their service. If I'm given a code via GeForce Now that I mention that I'm playing it on GeForce Now, and I give them due points for that, but I will never say to you, go and play on GeForce Now because it's streets ahead of another service if that other service is absolutely on a par or better. You'll never get that from me. And honestly, if it means that they ostracize me from the ambassador program, then so be it, because nobody owns me. My opinions are my opinions, and let's be honest, I've got a few of them. If you don't like my opinions, let me know, I've got more. I'll share them with anybody. Whether you like them or not, they're my opinions. And that goes for any service. It's why I've got an Xbox and a PlayStation, because I don't ever want to be accused of being a pony or an Xbot or whatever the terminology is these days. I'll tell you one thing though, I'm getting more success playing games on my consoles than I am my PC. That's giving me issues. So, it's still for me cloud, then console. Talking of which, been playing Forspoken. I reckon I've played about 20 hours of that game since it came. First 4 hours I was disappointed, because you're in a town, it's very barren and boring, and the animations are okay but not amazing, and you've got to do some kind of boring side. Once you get out of there into the world, it ticks my boxes. Open world, exploration, lots of loot, build your powers, and you can it reminds me a little bit of, do you remember Second Son? I love that game. Second Son meets Horizon Zero Dawn, a bit of that going on in there as well. There's a few games, a bit of Spider-Man, where you've got these ridiculous powers and you can just zip up everywhere and kill everything. And if you get the settings right, you can just walk through every enemy, which is what I do. And so I'm loving it for that. And I'm halfway through the game. I'm at chapter 5, there are 12, and the 12th is always a prologue in these things, isn't it? It's always a tidy up. So I reckon I'm halfway through it already. I am enjoying it, I have to tell you. I'm not going to say... I think the thing is, I think they've priced it wrong. I don't think it's a AAA. I think it's like an AA and a half. For me, it's maybe not a 70, it's a 50, if I'm honest. I think they could have gone the extra step and made it a AAA, but I reckon that's a year away from where they ended up going live. It's going to die as a franchise. Square Enix, beg your pardon, have said publicly recently in their accounts that it didn't do that well for them. They weren't particularly impressed with it. So, it's almost like Anthem. I think it's the toll, the ring of death, sadly. I was curious because Diablo 4's coming out June the 6th. If it's on PC, almost, I think we're getting to a point, guys, where if it's coming out on PC and it's a significant enough game, i.e. AA and above, I think they're not too worried about indies. Anything above there, I think you're almost going to guarantee it's going to be on the Boost Droid, if I'm honest with you. Raven, how are you, dude? Good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Their install function is very amusing. I know. I mean, it's as Jeremy Clarkson said as he was trying to get his restaurant out the door. They're living just this side of legal, just on the cusp. But it's working. They're still there, are they not? In fact, interestingly, what is interesting is they've taken the same approach that GeForce originally took. Do you remember? They used to just, if it was there, they'd have it on there. And then they got their knuckles wrapped. they must be spitting feathers seeing these guys getting ratified by Microsoft and other people, and they're doing really well, doing what they weren't allowed to do. It must be painful. Gotta be, innit? Gotta be. Yo, Ray! How are you, buddy? Have you installed your games yet, mate? Do you remember Ray won 2 outright games on Friday? And he didn't have them, which is great news. So I wonder if he's installed them and been having fun. King of Content, Young Cowboy says, so I was speaking to someone with a bigger channel than mine, and he said people often ask how to find me. And when he tried to tell them, and now your mama knows, they go, what? Yeah, well, that's a good shout. Yeah, I'm on board with that, my friend. Absolutely. Cowboy King of Content. Absolutely. I still wonder whether you should have put K for cowboy and K for... Oh no, then you'd be the KKK, wouldn't you? No, don't do that. Do not be doing it. They wore hats and stuff as well. He said, and now your mama knows. Makes it hard to find on channel. Yeah. But what about your @ symbol thing? Couldn't you just change that? Leave your and now your mama knows thingy and just change the @ thingy. Can you do that? Miss Phoenix, the lady of the hour, 24/5. There you go. Oh, Miss Phoenix, I got back from dropping my youngest off quite late yesterday. And when I got my phone out the car, it said, Miss Phoenix has gone live. And I was like, oh, great. Flicked it on and you'd been on hours before and I was gutted. I so wanted to be there for you live. But I did watch as much as I could and it was very, very good. You are very good. Thoroughly enjoyable. Miss Phoenix has a Twitch channel, guys. And she's been, well, this was Hogwarts, but various gameplay. Check her out. I'm right in saying it's only Twitch, am I not? It's just a Twitch channel. You've no interest in the finer points of YouTube, which is fair enough. Curly says, I can never remember the rugby scores when I go to a match. I know they just go off into the stratosphere, mate, don't they? It's much easier, yeah. You know, with football, it's unlikely to be a higher number than 4. Yeah, certainly at Premiership level. Nerds World, the man of the hour. How are you, my friend? Nerds World is making a stop frame animation with Lego. That is one heck of an undertaking. I think you're going to be doing that for some years, my friend. Cowboy says, man, I hear so many people say how bad Forspoken is from the demo. Yeah, good point. But the full game's a lot better. I know you enjoyed it. Did you finish it in the end? They should add it. I think they will add it to PS Plus, actually, and because it didn't do well for them, did it? For Square Enix and Luminous. And Sony, of course, were backing it to the hilt. So I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't turn up there. I'm actually really enjoying it. There's things about it that I love. There's a couple of things that annoy me. If I tell you the things that annoy me first, what annoys me the most is, and you only see it, you see it more at the front of the game than later on. But when you come up to a change of maybe a cutscene or something, there's like a black, the screen goes black and fades, and it can be up to a second. And it's just like, why are you doing this? I can play God of War Ragnarok, and it's seamless. It never cuts out. There's no need for it. And you're talking about next gen. And for me, maybe it isn't optimized for PlayStation with the whole SSD thing. That annoys me. Also, what annoys me is the music. It's actually quite nice, full orchestra, but it just loops, and they're really short loops. That's annoying. The guy's voice, his voice is quite annoying, but you can tone that right down and only have him pop in from time to time. Other than that, though, I love the fact that if you go to the maps, it actually tells you when you move your cursor over a dot, it actually tells you what you can get from going there. So it might say defeat a boss and get a new cloak or a new spell or what have you. So you can sort of think to yourself, right, okay, I'll do that one and then I'll go and do that one. And fast travel works really well. So I'm loving that. There's lots of it that I'm really liking. More so on balance more than I'm not liking it. So yeah, I'd say if that game had been 50, I reckon it would have done really, really well. At 70, though, too many people are going to go, this was not a AAA, it was not worth that amount of money. And I'd have to agree, but I'm enjoying it. I'm glad I rented it, but I'm enjoying it. It's cool. Adam says, I enjoy open world games where I can explore and level up, build my character. And you would like it, I think, because it's very much in that vein. I've been playing Biomutant. Yeah, Biomutant's a great game, isn't it? It's such a good game. What have I done? Oh, no. Yeah, I'm trying to get my camera back. It's all right, you guys are still seeing me, but I've disappeared. There I am, a bit brighter and a bit darker. Lovely stuff. Yeah, I'll do it for the rest of the show. Yep, Happy Martin. Happy Martin. Hat komle. Oh, what does that mean? Hat komle. Is it come here? Or is it hello everybody? Which is mixed, it's food, which is mixed with flour and potatoes, cooked and looks like a big grey bowl. Ugh. And on the same plate you have melted butter and salted cooked ham, is that? And bacon, same thing. So it's Norwegian. Oh, you're good. You're welcome to it, my friend. I hope you enjoy your big grey bowl of ham. It sounds delicious. Doing great right now. That sounds Irish. Are you from the Emerald Isle? I'm doing great right now. Love it. Al, I want to play Forspoken, but as I have a PS4, oh yeah, you have to wait for it to come to GFN. Is it not on GFN? I bet it's on Boosteroid. Just saying. Top Gear is the best. I love the old Top Gears. I'm not a fan of the new ones with them old sporting fellas. And I'm loving, I have to say, although Jeremy and I differ in many ways politically, I do love his farm, Jeremy Clarkson's farm, Diddley Squat. I think that's excellent, and season 2 is really good. Enjoyed watching it again, actually. Watched it again last week with my daughter, the whole thing. My brother loves it too. Oh, brilliant stuff. Raven having a little chuckle there. Miss Phoenix, you didn't miss anything. I was just fixing some stuff. Yep, only Twitch. Brain can't process YouTube. Nah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I load people just do one or the other. I try and stream. I do my podcasty stuff to both. Although in truth, don't get very many people watch. In fact, I'll never go up to the next, is it affiliate level? Because you have to get 70 or something concurrent watches, and the most I've ever had is 12. So ain't gonna happen. But also I tend to do my game streaming on Twitch. Although, and I think it wasn't Al, it was, oh crikey, Lord Gaming Man sent me a little insider tip the other day talking about news, which was interesting, and I don't mind quoting him. And that was, it looks like in an alpha Xbox OS update that they're prepping to be able to broadcast to YouTube as well as Twitch. They've been doing Twitch for a long time, but it looks like they're prepping for YouTube as well. This is good news because up until now, only PlayStation has enabled you to do that natively. And I have to say, very, very well as well. You can use the controller. It has a microphone built in, so you can actually use the mic on your controller if you want to. You can plug a camera in and have a camera going on as well. So they do a good job, and the quality is very good as well. The downside that I've found with Xbox, PlayStation doesn't do this for an obvious reason, but if you wanted to stream, so you have to fire up a browser to get into GeForce Now, for example, on your Xbox, because there is no native app, but you can run it via Edge, but you can't stream to Twitch with Edge. It won't let you. Even if you're playing a game, it says, no, this is not a recognized application. You can't do it on PlayStation because they don't have a browser at all. So you're a bit stuffed, and you certainly can't do things like stream Netflix, for example. But certainly for games, very, very good. Very good. Martin, yes, it was the lunch at work. Sounds bad, but it's good. But not as good as Pizza Burger. Pizza Burger. That sounds nice. Now, is that like pizza turned inside out? So you got your bread on the outside, yeah? And then as well as the pizza, you've got something going on in the middle, like a burger or something. Is that what? Because although I've never seen that ever, that would make a fantastic snack, wouldn't it? So you get yourself a pizza, cut 2 circles to create the bun shape, yeah? Throw a bit of meat on the old griddle, some onions and, whatever you like, a bit of cheese. Between the 2 circles of pizza, then we've got it. We've got it. Hang on a minute, Phoenix is ahead of us. She had a Domino pizza with burger toppings last week. Very close, but imagine 2 circles of pizza with the bread on the outside. Ha! Hey, guys, we've just invented something, I reckon. The pizza acts as the bun, like a personal-sized pizza. Imagine, it would be so good. So, yeah, and as The Last of Us show's ended, and I loved it. Anyone thoughts? Well, difficult to talk about it without spoilers, brother, isn't it? And I know you had a bit of a heated show over it. A lot of people, even saying anything about the ending is a spoiler. So I hadn't watched it, and I saw somebody say something about the ending without mentioning the ending, and it kind of ruined it for me because I was then expecting what happened, kind of thing. So, I think talking about it, all I will say is I thought the entire series was top class in so many ways. I love the fact that they took it seriously, because too many of these this kind of, migration from games to full media are so cynical, just trying to cash in on us dumbass gamers. So when they actually take what was a groundbreaking game in so many ways, wasn't it? I mean, they presented a story in a way that we probably hadn't really seen up until The Last of Us. And then they've moved it to TV and they've carried that on. I think it's been superb. And I wasn't sure about Ellie to begin with because she looks so different. She almost looks Asian, doesn't she? Like maybe one of her parents is Asian. And I was just thinking she just looks so different. But then as the show went on, what an amazing actress. She really is. So talented. Big future ahead of her. I'm absolutely certain of it. I loved it, mate. I'm going to have to be honest with you. I think it's the best video game adaptation, says Ant. I agree. And Sonic going to number 2. Haven't seen Sonic. Do you mean is there a TV series now? I don't think I've seen that, brother. But, Ant and I, we often agree about most things more often than not, don't we, mate? We usually have very common ground on most things. He enjoyed Forspoken, Sonic movie part 1. Awesome. No, again, the whole Sega Nintendo console thing passed me by in the 80s and 90s. So I don't have the same affection toward the characters of Mario and Sonic and, all these guys that I know you fellas do, you younger chaps. But I thought The Last of Us was amazing. If they can keep up, there's got to be a second one, hasn't there? In line with the second game, has to be I think that could be good. And I was thinking, because I bought both, but I did buy the second game, and I might play it again just to remind me. But because Miss Phoenix has been doing quite a clever thing, she's been watching the show and then playing that part of the game every week. I think it's quite clever. Just sort of comparing it. And oh yeah, that did happen. I forgot this part and so on. It's been, let's face it, it's had a huge game compressed into 8 episodes. So there's been a lot left out. And some of it's been embellished, and some people have said why. And I've not, personally, I've not felt anything wrong with anything they've done. I've really enjoyed it. Without going into the final episode. Yep, season 2 will be part 2. Oh, that's good news. That's good to hear, Nerds World. I will definitely look forward to that. Do you know the one thing I would say is that they kind of didn't have that many zombies in the thing, did they? I was expecting more of those. You could almost, in fact, many episodes went past where there were none, and that was interesting. Maybe that isn't, but kind of thought so. Martin says, oh my god, this phone is just out of control. Or is it me and my great grammarly correct English? Pizza burger. Yeah, pizza burger. I'm telling you, it's a thing of the future. Rokk, they've announced they'll do part 2, and it will take 2... Oh, they're going to split it, so there'll be 3. Fantastic. Looking forward to that. I must admit, there's been a few shows recently just haven't caught my attention. I've tried getting into Picard. I raced through... I binge watched season 2, knowing that season 3 was just starting, and I was very disappointed with season 2. And then I've sort of, I don't know, I'm up to date pretty much with season 3. I think I've still got the rest of the latest episode, but it's just not doing it for me. I've got to be honest. I don't know what it is, but I'm just finding it a bit condescending. It just feels a bit hammy. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's all I'm saying. Ronda Rousey or Rousey as Abby. Okay, I'm not familiar with this personage. Nerds World. I'm going to pop her up on screen. Ronda from the Valleys. Ronda Rousey. Oh, American professional wrestler. Oh yeah. Oh, I can see it. Hang on. Let's get ourselves over to to Larry. Let me just get this up on screen so you can see what's going on. Where are we? News page, window capture, and Ronda. I can absolutely see why they've chosen her. Here we go. If you've played the game, look at that. She's a dead ringer, isn't she? Huh? A dead ringer for love. There we go. Let's get her in. There you go. Yeah, I can absolutely see that. I loved her character. Again, no spoilers for those that haven't played it, but the character of Abby for me was amazing. And again, no spoilers, but the way that they took you on a journey with her to the end of the game, perfection. Absolute perfection. They haven't cast her yet. She's my choice. Gotcha, my friend. Well, I think that's a freaking good choice. I don't know if she's much of an actress, but she has that chunky look. You know what I'm saying? She was quite, chunky in a masculine way, wasn't she? Which this picture of young Ronda, by the way, different spelling, absolutely suits her. I think that's a great shout there as well. I had no idea. I'm not into wrestling. You may or may not know. It doesn't do it for me. Go away, ChatGPT. I tell you what, I have not been that impressed with ChatGPT. Midjourney, that's great fun. But I've put some stuff in recently. Like, as an example, I asked it the other day, where are the cheapest places to park in my hometown, right? And it gave me a list of all the car parks and how much it was. So I said to my wife, great, I'm going to go there. I had a lunch meeting. So I went to this place and it was 3 times the amount that it said. And then I Googled it and the prices had gone up a year ago. And ChatGPT was showing me prices from ages back. Rubbish, ChatGPT. Dorrigan, there he is. How are you, my friend? How are you? Did you have a good weekend? Hope you had a good weekend. Yeah, she's too old, but it will be... I think it's a good choice, though, my friend. I mean, the look of her is very, very good. While we're here, while we've made our way over to Nerds World... Nerds World? Oh, Simple Larry. But Nerds World's such a great name for it. I love it. Cowboy says, Rokk Show, I keep saying Abby's story should have been a DLC. Really? It made the game too long and the back and forth between her and Ellie wasn't great. Should have just been Ellie. That's one of the very few occasions that I don't agree. I loved that part of the story, particularly how it concluded. But they could have added it as a DLC. I hear you. Is there any talk of Naughty Dog doing anything else with The Last of Us, or have they put it to bed now? They could, but I suppose the artists that they are, they've probably said, no, we covered it. That's the story. We're not doing any spin-offs. We're not going to do this is in the same universe crap that they do with Marvel and DC and Star Wars. I hope that's what they've said. Would make sense, wouldn't it? Yeah, but even if she's too old, Nerds Well, I think she's a good choice. Right, while we're here at Simple Larry, and we don't have the Boosteroid thing yet, I did look. For those of you late in, Boosteroid are about to announce that they have also got a deal with Microsoft where they will be putting all of their PC games on Boosteroid. Only they have said they're putting the entire catalogue on there by the 1st of June, which I know is something GeForce Now will not be able to compete with, because they've got to go through a process of onboarding and put their wrapper around everything and test it, whereas Boosteroid just go, yeah, shove it on the disc. Yeah, there you go, it's there. Nonetheless, big kudos to the boys. And I know that they're sending around press releases, but I haven't seen one, and it may well be there's an embargo on it. But I don't care, because it was cloudy. It was Caseball what told us. Caseball told us, Boosteroid, okay? Sue him. I'm sure it's all good. This is their blog. There's nothing here. Boosteroid teams up with Skyworth to deliver advanced cloud gaming on Android set-top boxes, which I don't believe are available in the UK. And Boosteroid partners with Hrvatski Telekom, Deutsche Telekom Group, to expand cloud gaming in Croatia. They are very, very busy at the moment, it has to be said. But nothing going on there. I do have a couple of news items, courtesy of David Wilson, my roving reporter, David. A couple of interesting ones. First up, Google says, Eurogamer, 12th of March, so we're talking yesterday. Google says it is still committed to games as an industry. Now, I haven't read the article. It could simply be an extension of what Wi-Fi put up there last week, and others as well. And if you remember, my point was that Google have been supporting cloud gaming as a service via their cloud division for some time. And I mean years before Stadia, because I looked at them doing this. Even when Stadia was announced, they'd been doing it before. So it could just be that they're saying, no, we're still providing that service. You can still go to Google Cloud Services and there is a cloud gaming option, and you're very welcome to use it. Google is positioning itself as a go-to tech partner for publishers of live service video games. But again, they were, by offering its cloud gaming tech. What they said, or what Jack Booser said, was that nothing to do with Stadia. We ain't using no Stadia tech, we ain't using no Stadia people, we ain't using no brand. It's our cloud services, which they always had. And I don't even know whether the two ever came together. I don't even know if Stadia ever used their own cloud services. It may have had its own offshoot. According to Axios, the tech megacorp is pitching its cloud program as proof it remains invested in gaming. So I think they're just promoting it. I think they're just saying, we'll still do stuff, guys. Don't forget, we are a viable option if you're thinking of getting into cloud. But it's only if you were thinking of, I don't think they're looking at anybody like a Boosteroid or a GeForce Now. I think it's purely if you wanted to push a mobile gaming service, for example. Yeah, I don't think there's anything more than that. Stadia is not shutting down. Yes, it is. Google insisted when it asked outright on Twitter if a closure was imminent back in June 2022. Yeah, indeed. 3 months later, it was gone. Whap, whap. We're not offering that streaming option, Stadia, because it was tied to Stadia. This was what Booster had already said. So, yeah, I don't think there's anything new in this. I just think it's the same angle. The other piece of news, though, was quite interesting for us as gamers. Amazon wants you to help train robots by playing a video game. Yes. A computer game being developed by Amazon called Alexa Arena is designed to harvest information on how humans interact with robots, so the firm can train machines on how best to go about their duties in offices and homes. So fundamentally, this is how all machine learning or artificial intelligence works. You feed it with a ton of data. That can be existing information, or it can be a bunch of questions with answers. And it looks for patterns, and it learns those patterns and matches, and it sees something similar. It goes, I've got a pattern match for that, and it pulls it in. So actually, using gaming as a way to train, to get a mass crowd to train artificial intelligence engines of the future could be something we see more and more of. Do you remember not that long ago, in fact, I remember Chief Stadia Source doing this. You could download some software for your PC and it would use compute cycles on your machine to cure cancer or whatever the deal was. And this could be a kind of the gaming generation way of doing a similar thing. Rockmouth says, you know somebody's going to try and kill a human in that game. I was thinking the other day, you know what is it? What is the obsession with killing in video games? Does it come from just the culture? Because I'm thinking about this, right? And I know you Americans, and you know I love you guys, but you do have a kind of gun culture, don't you? And the whole hunting thing is kind of, you're so close to when hunting and fishing and surviving in the West and stuff was part of your everyday life. I mean, it's only a couple of hundred years ago, isn't it? It's kind of been bred out of us over here over the last 600 years. So in a way, guns do kind of have a natural place. And so in a way, games where you get your gun out kind of feels comfortable. And then I thought to myself, well, that's possible, but what about Japanese games? A lot of the early games came out of Japan. And then I thought, well, I suppose things like Donkey Kong and Mario and stuff, Sonic, they weren't really about killing things, were they? They were about sort of puzzle solving and stuff. Just, I don't know, it's interesting. But I love games. So I've been playing Forspoken, as you know. And I'm in this bizarre world, which I think is explained as a kind of alternative quantum universe, but it's never really spelled out. And yet everything, I have to kill it. If it walks, it has to be killed. And it's like, I wouldn't be like that if I'd landed in a new world. Even if this thing would ultimately kill me, I'd just avoid it because I don't want to destroy this thing. And this game encourages me to wipe everything out. And it's funny, isn't it, how that's just become a kind of culture. Do Amazon not learn? Public will definitely use that incorrectly. Yeah. What does it say? So look at this screen here. It says, remove the computer virus from the infected computer in the main office. And then there's a tick box. Pick up the floppy disk on the manager's desk. And then another option, another task, insert the floppy disk into the computer in the main office displaying a skull. I don't know where that's got a lot to do with Alexa. Oh, sorry, Alexa. Yeah, who knows? And by the way, I'm not subscribing to New Scientist, so that's all we're going to find out. Sorry about that. I don't be doing that subscription stuff. Martin says, I was super hyped for Stadia, but became very skeptical when Stadia and Sundar Pichai first came out and said, I don't do gaming. Yeah, I know, it wasn't clever, was it? And I've never been a big believer. Isn't it interesting how Asian folk have sort of risen to the top CEO positions of all the big tech stocks? Quite interesting, isn't it? The whole Silicon Valley Bank thing is also interesting. But I don't think most people fully appreciate the story, which was that unlike most banks, they don't lend money. They're just a depository for cash. So, a lot of Silicon Valley and other countries, we've got one in London as well, SVB, would get a VC would give them $100 million and then they would pop it into Silicon Valley Bank, largely because they traded in bonds and they were able to give an interest rate of about 2%, just under 2%, which at a time when nobody's giving interest rates was actually reasonable, 1.8%. Problem is that other people started doing bonds with much higher rates because the interest rates went up. So they were doing 4% bonds. And so the guys at Silicon Valley Bank found themselves to be completely uncompetitive. They were only offering 1.8% versus 4%. So they decided to sell the book. Okay, so all their billions that they'd encouraged in to the bonds, they sold the lot, and they sold them at a loss. But it was a good thing to do because they didn't need them anymore, and they needed to raise some money to get these bonds in place that gave a higher interest rate. And by saying they were doing that, people like Peter Thiel, evil, said, pull your money out of the bank. They're looking for cash. It's terrible. And they incited a run on the bank, and it was goodnight Vienna, when actually they were doing the right thing. But putting that to one side, the point being that it's not, the sky isn't falling in. It's just a very unfortunate set of circumstances that put them out. But, it's interesting to see how fragile that world is. And we're seeing around the world, aren't we? Facebook or Meta, Twitter. I still have my suspicions about Elon Musk's objectives there. But so many, Microsoft and other places, all taking on CEOs of Asian origin. It might just be coincidental, but I do find it interesting. Rokk, nice song last week. Oh, thank you, Pete. I've not seen the cat since. Up yours. There'll be more. There will be more. I might even do some outside of my lessons. Roku, Roku took a bath this week, didn't they? Yeah. They had, I think they had 100 million with SVB. The good news in the UK, and I think it's going to happen in the States as well, today is HSBC have announced they're taking it over. Problem is, nobody wants that 1.8% bond asset. They don't want it. So they'll be getting rid of it the same as SVB will. The only difference is they have the cash to carry it forward that SVB didn't have. I just, call it miscommunication. But there's quite a few. There are quite a few businesses. 425 million euro. Okay. I think it was 100, but it was me listening to. Oh crikey! I've forgotten his name already. I've met him. I've been on his show, for God's sake. Leo Laporte. It was me listening to This Week in Tech. SVB going down had a lot to do with deregs. Yeah, Trump. Absolutely right. It had a lot to do with Trump. Great show as always, sir. Oh, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for popping in, brother. In fact, while you're here, let me just have a quick look and see how we're getting on. We have, I don't think it's 32 minutes. Let me speed that up. There you go, we've run out of time. I don't know why it does that. 15 people. I'm going to go and grab the lot of you and shove you all into the wheel in a second. We'll get that going. Copy you. There we go. Lovely. So yes, there we are. Amazon want you to help them train robots, and nothing really new from Google. I am very, very interested to see when that piece of news from Boosteroid finally goes live, because it ain't out there right now. Boosteroid to Boosteroid partners with Microsoft PC games. Let's go to news. Yeah, see, we've got 27. There's nothing here that's... let's make it the last 24 hours. No, we stayed in the UK's first 5-star gaming suite at West London. Did we? What was that all about then? Let's have a look at this. Gaming suite, 5 stars. This could be interesting in and of itself. If you're a content creator with a big following, an even bigger budget, then London's new 5-star gaming suite is a true streamer's paradise. This was today. Look at this. So what have we got? A 5-star space overlooking Leicester Square and Chinatown. Very nice. Bit smelly, but very nice. The West London, the W London, is a super sleek, ultra-modern hotel with a USP, a unique selling point that will be of particular interest to gamers. The first of its kind in the UK. The W London has transformed its lavish WoW suite WoW, what's WoW again? That's World of Warcraft, isn't it? Into a gamer's paradise, complete with everything you need to get your game on within the heart of the capital. Will the W London's gaming suite catch on? We stayed the night to find out. Now, what I would be really interested in is if they had some ghosts That I would be interested in reading on. Bookable until April, the W London's gaming space is first and foremost a luxurious suite designed for comfort. I do like the look of that leather thing there. That looks quite comfortable, doesn't it? I'll be up for that. The PC looks all right. I suppose it's got a few fans. I'm not so sure about the wallpaper, though. It's a bit dodgy. As you walk into the suite, you're greeted by the W London's impressive gaming rig. How long is this article? Oh, that's quite pretty. Yes, I'm liking that. That looks nice. Splashes of bright colour, fully customisable room lighting that you control with an iPad, and quirky furnishings from IKEA. Or IKEA, as they pronounce it in its home country of Sweden. Did you know that? IKEA, not IKEA. We've all been saying it wrong. Roused to the banking industry lobbied politicians to deregulate them, and they did. Yes, but we know who was in power at the time, my friend, don't we? Stadia would do better if they changed the face of Stadia. It's like Football Manager. But, well, Stadia's gone, mate. It ain't coming back. I wish somebody would just ring them up and say, look, come on, I'll buy it from you. I'll buy it for $1 and I'll run it. Just imagine the tech. Boostroid, get on to Google, offer them $1. It would work. You'd have so much tech and amazing development stuff, R&D stuff that they never launched. Eddie, how are you, brother? Good to see you. Guessing I'm too late for the... No, you're not, my friend. I've just actually, while you're there, I'll do it. Let me go over to the wheel. Do-do-be-do. Well, I mean, you're too late to add it into the thing, but you're not too late for the wheel. Let me pull it up here. Interact. Put the... Let me zoom in a bit. It's a bit small for me. Do you know, for the first time for a long time, I really am looking forward to getting back to my game in Forspoken. It's a little game that it's got it all going on. I can kind of just know what I'm doing, and it doesn't confuse me. Well, there's some confusing things in it, but you kind of understand it as you progress. Good. Right, I've got you guys in there. So, Shuffleificus, there we are, and I'll hide that. Let me just check the game, the wheel of game. Yep, need to change that one. Open to daily games. There it is. Good. Close that advert. Give it a wait, no, not entries. Shuffle, hide. Good stuff, right? That's ready. We'll do that in a second. I just want to finish this. I just want to finish this article over here about this. So what have they got in there then? Oh, that's a pretty decent rig, actually. Look at that. They've got a CyberPower PC with a GeForce RTX 4090 24G graphics card. That's impressive. You've also got an Xbox X with Game Pass. Oh, hello. Get to play on their account. How's that going to work? You could just destroy everything. Unless you can load in yourself, in which case you could anyway, couldn't you, on a PC or an Xbox. Plus a desk full of HyperX goodies, including a mic, keyboard, mouse, and headset. To be honest, though, if you're a content creator and you're going off to E3 or what have you, then you just get it all running from your super duper laptop, don't you? I don't know that you need any of this. So it's, okay. If you were a content creator looking for someone to stay in London, you might go for it, I suppose. Gaming chair, yeah, Secret Lab, metal desk, they're nice. I'm not a fan of, I had a Secret Lab Titan, never liked it, sent it back. Actually, no, I didn't, they wouldn't have it back. I had to sell it privately, but I only sold it for a few quid less than I paid for it. In addition to the microphone, a couple of Elgato key lights here. Oh look, little, what do they call them? What do they call these little things? Not hors d'oeuvres. What do they call them? Those little sweets that you have after your meal. Look, little consoles. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. Tell you what, it ain't going to be cheap, is it? Look at all this. Nice mic. Yeah, it's pretty cool though, have to be said. Mushroom extract. What? Ordered to the room using the DigiValet system on the aforementioned iPad. We're writing a thing like this at the moment for a hotel chain, My Business. Those of you that say, what does he do? I own a software company. And we're actually writing software right now for a hotel chain that would do this kind of thing. You can book events and stuff. To be launched by June, I believe. Anyway, this actually does look good. Here we go. So what I've been waiting for. Ultimately, if you are a content creator with a big following, even bigger, and London's £1,500 a night, let's call that $1,800. Gaming Suite is a veritable streamer's paradise. It's a lot of dosh. A lot of dosh. The elaborate gaming rig provides everything you need to keep your Twitch viewers happy, but I don't think you do, though. While the lavish... I mean, you're not going to go on holiday, are you, and go, I'm still going to stream? Of course you're not. While the price tag makes it tough to recommend to everybody, the W London is definitely onto something in its attempts to appeal to gamers. Here's hoping. I do like the idea. I do, but I don't think it's going to ever catch on. It'll never catch on. It'll be like cloud gaming. Don't listen to Rokk. What does he know? Right then, you lovely, lovely folk. Shall we do it? Shall we get the wheel a-spinning? We're over the allotted time, so let's do this. Let me get the wheel up. I don't know why I closed it in the first place. And here we go. Let's give it a spin. Good luck, guys. And girls. Very much, especially girls. Cowboy goes on holiday and still streams. Yeah, good point, Dorrigal. So did I. Do you remember when I was over in wherever we went? I forget now. Cyprus? Was it? I can't remember. And I was walking around and doing a Rokk on the road thing. Sup, Koala? How are you, dude? Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are things for you? I hope you're well. We're just about to stop. Koala, it's getting very close to you, actually. Looking on this wheel, it's only going to be a few before you. Still going. No, it's going to stop. Keep going, keep going. Don't stop on Bjorn. He gets too many goodies. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, freaking Bjorn won it. He wins too many things. Oh, I'm spinning it again. I'm not having Bjorn winning another game. Not having it. He wins all the time. It wasn't Rhodes. It was Greece. You're right, Eddie. Thank you. Was it Corfu? It might have been Corfu. I can't remember now. Don't tell Bjorn, will you? Keep it to us. Don't let him know. It's our secret. Here we go. We're coming around. Coming around again. Miss Phoenix. Could be you. Kick to Snake Death Alive. Sneaks won a few times recently as well, though. Geek to Sneak. No, he's won too many times. He won recently as well, didn't he? No, we don't. Just do it again. Yes. They're gonna. I tell you, I'm gonna have pitchforks outside my door. In my usual way, if any of these guys message me and say, "Oh, come on, man," I will let them have a game. I think it's fair. I want people that don't win often to win. So let's see who it's going to be now. I'm not stopping till we get someone who's a rare winner. Oh, look, there's Ray. Well, he won on Friday, didn't he? Mugen Live, Rockmuth, Al Davis. Could be Al. That's still going. I think it's going into Queen Rach territory, possibly even Miss Phoenix. Now, Miss Phoenix has never won. That. I'm happy with that. Bless her. She gave me some Chiefs tickets after all. It wasn't a fix, I promise you. Right, Miss Phoenix. That's good. We got someone who's not won, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing, right? I think so. And if they complain, I'll let them have a game, don't worry. Let's see what you're going to win. Let's see what you're going to win, Miss Phoenix. Woo-hoo. Let's give it a spin. I tell you what, we'll give it a little shuffle first. You could win Horizon Zero Dawn. I've got a feeling she hasn't got a PC, by the way, so this might not go as well as, you know. But let's see. Let's spin the wheel. Woohoo! Oh, it's Postman Pat. Postman Pat had a cat and a big black hat. Not quite the lyrics I know. Right, is it going to be a Nanotale? That's a great game, isn't it? Shooting Stars, maybe? Could be Shooting Stars. No, it's all good, Koala. Shooting Stars. I don't know, Koala, whether well, I'll make a little note here. I don't know whether your time zone has changed over the weekend, my friend. I know in the States they sprung forward. And I'm not sure if it works like that. It may not work like that in Asia or India. You may have a consistent time zone through the year. But certainly in Europe and America, in Europe and America, there's a growing feeling of hysteria. That's correct, isn't it? We have stuff spring forward around this month. So yeah, don't worry about it, my friend. But you were there. You were in the wheel because you are a member. It's 11:35 in the morning or 23:35. Either way, brilliant stuff, Miss Phoenix. I will be letting her know that she won Shooting Stars. I think that was the deal, wasn't it? Yes, there it is, Shooting Stars. Right, you lovely folk. I don't think that was a bad Monday, was it? We did a relatively positive show there, guys. We had some interesting new news. And I kept out of politics largely, by and large. I've been getting a bit political of late. And you know, we had a bit of fun. We had a couple of chuckles, didn't we? 11:35, there you go. So it's evening time. Well, that's cool. Well, it's just coming up to almost 10 minutes past 6 in the evening for me. And of course, my good friends, I think it's coming up to about 10 past 11 in the morning on the East Coast. 10 past 2 in the afternoon on the East Coast, 10 past 10 in the morning on the West Coast. There we are. That's it exactly. I am absolutely convinced. Rouster. I was under the impression the US was going to make it permanent. Same in Europe as well, but not sure it happened. It was supposed to stay permanent as well, but I don't know. I mean, I am a little bit of a conspiracy nut. Why are they letting it continue? Where is the advantage? I know that it was largely done around World War One, I believe, to get the munitions factories working and farms and stuff and what have you. But I don't know now whether farmers give us stuff. They've got huge combine harvesters and tractors with massive lights on them. I genuinely don't think they have a big problem with that anymore. So why are they sticking it out? It's unnatural, isn't it? I don't understand it, mate. I really don't. I don't know what the deal is. There's a street, Dorrigan says, there's a street in Australia where half have daylight savings. Oh, no way, seriously, and half don't. How does that work? I guess because they, like America, they have these various time zones. It's so vast, isn't it? So they must be, yeah, they must be similar to America in that basis. Or do you guys in America have it the same, the entire country? I'm guessing that the actual moment that it changes staggers, I guess. You know, it'd be midnight wherever you are, maybe. But it's incredibly confusing, isn't it? Neil, you're all right, my friend. Lovely to see you, brother. Thank you for popping in. We'll catch the show in full later. I tell you what, Neil, it was a cracker. It should have been on the Oscars yesterday. It so should. I just read that it didn't get through one of the government bodies here, the House of Representatives. Okay. It has been reintroduced again, and hopefully, I genuinely don't know why. There's a restaurant, says Raven, that sits on the border of two countries in Europe that has the same thing. Wow. Half is in New South Wales, Australia, half is in Queensland. And Queensland doesn't do daylight savings. I never knew that. I lived in New Zealand, as you know, and I did not know that that was the case. That's interesting, isn't it? I wonder why. And why not? You know, is the honest answer, isn't it? Why not? Good on them. Guys, thank you so much, as always, for humouring this old fella. And turning up on a Monday. I'm off to play some Forspoken after saying good evening to the wife and sharing a dinner. A plate of warmed up roast from Saturday, I think it's going to be. But it's all good. So when the main side closes, the whole place closes down. Oh, the restaurant, really? So even though they have maybe another hour to go before they needed to close, the whole place closes down. Wow. Well, they've already chosen, haven't they? Could they not stay open later on the other side? That would make more sense, wouldn't it? Stay open, unless the licensing laws prohibit it, maybe that's the case. Who knows? Guys and girls, thank you so much. Lovely to see you. Had a cracking turnout. I didn't think with all the time stuff we would get as many people, so I'm super chuffed about that. Thank you so much. And I will be back tomorrow with my friends, my absolute brilliant friends and the band members. Of course, David, William and Ray. And we'll be having chuckles until Daddy takes the T-Bird away or something like that. I will see you guys tomorrow. You have a fantastic Monday. Here's to the rest of the week. See you soon.
Tasting of wine, eyes like the ocean, gonna make you mine. Lips red,